Haunted houses are an attraction that bring people from far and wide, especially later on in the year. But there's only one haunted house that nobody has ever been able to complete. In San Diego, California, there's a haunted house called McCamey Manor. Before you start this haunted maze, you have to sign off on a contract that states that McCamey Manor is not liable for damage done to your mental state, your body, or even death. And perhaps the scariest part is once you enter, you cannot leave. And here's where the conspiracy theory comes in. Several people believe that this haunted house was made just so that the creator, Russ McCamey, would be able to abuse and torture human beings and get away with it. Thankfully, right now, there have been no accounts of anybody who has died, but there have been several accounts of people who have had their mental state viciously scarred. And look, if you guys love conspiracy theories, make sure to check out this game that was gifted to me by friends over at Goliath Games. The game is called The Real Truth, and as you go throughout the game, you and your friends will go through several different conspiracy theories as you complete various missions. I've already played with my friends, and it's an amazing time, trust me. If you want to get the game yourself, just Google search Goliath Games, or you can honestly just click the link in my bio. And look, if you're searching for the scariest conspiracy theory that I may have ever heard of, then look no further than...
There's huge conspiracy theories about the Denver airport. It's huge. There's giant bunkers for like the end of the world for the elite to come and stay safe after everybody else dies. There's a giant horse statue, and people say it symbolizes the apocalypse and the end of the world because it has bright red glowing eyes. The artist that designed it, during the construction of the horse, a piece of the horse fell off, landed on him, cut his leg off, and he bled to death. And so people say this thing is obviously evil because even the guy who constructed it died from it.
The darkest conspiracies in the world. The Mandela Effect. A theory that suggests that our current reality has somehow been shifted into an alternate universe. Such evidence includes things like the Berenstain Bears being Berenstain Bears, fruit of the loom, with and without the cornucopia. Even the memory of Mandela dying in prison back in the 1980s versus 2013. Supposedly created by the CIA as a psyops. Are we really in an alternate reality? Hit the plus sign if you think so.
Y'all, I am freaking out right now. There's a lot of unexplained things going on in the ocean right now. Hold on real quick. I do not trust them. Just watch this real quick for me.
You get to Mars by going through the ocean. You can't get to the bottom of the ocean because outer space is the ocean.
Now what she just said just blew my mind. Now there's a situation called the firmament. So we know that water is all around us. And it is said that this dome divided the sea into upper and lower sections. You can't cancel this out because they still haven't discovered 80% of the sea. Early civilizations believed that the ocean and the stars above were linked. I mean, just look. Mayan, Norse, Hindu, Hebrew, all of them. Now we already know what spacesuits look like, but they look exactly like sea suits. I know once in your life you've heard of the Bermuda Triangle. Planes and people going missing in the ocean. There are black holes in the ocean. And I just know once in your life you've heard about sea monsters. When you see a comet, it looks like a boat soaring through water. What if these unexplained species in the ocean are actually aliens? If y'all have ever watched this movie Underwater, they went too deep and found the creature that don't even look like it's supposed to be from this earth. Or could it have just been a creature from space? Now you can say what you want, but I bet you we are not the only beings, only species, only creatures that are in this universe. It's just ironic that when they return to Earth, they're on water. I mean, I know I'm not tripping. And I know y'all heard of mermaids. So many unexplained things in the ocean. They're making more discoveries in space. Not really putting too much money or caring about what's going on the planet. Why? Because this sea stuff might have a lot of connections to space. And they not telling us. Y'all be safe, and I know I'm not the only person who feel this way.
Have you heard of this conspiracy theory? Make sure you lock your doors before I share this with you. This is the Illuminati conspiracy theory. Of course, the Illuminati are the real owners of this country. And of course, they control everything, make all the big decisions, not the politicians. Because that's just what they want us to think. They're just putting them in front of us. That way we think we have a choice and decisions what actually happen in this world. The sad thing is we really don't. I mean, they own all the big corporations, Congress and politicians, media, literally everywhere. And they spend billions of dollars a year just to get what they want and to distract us in what's really happening in this outside world. They just don't want us to be woke or aware of these situations. They just want obedient workers who will settle for a day-to-day low-income job for the rest of their life. But let me know in the comments what you think. Follow for more. And as always, y'all be safe out there.
So I found these conspiracy theories that are so believable they actually might be true. Part 4. Number 1. Doja Cat exposes herself as a member of the Illuminati. Less than 3 months ago, Doja Cat threw her 27th birthday party, making it an exclusive event. And this was her birthday cake. The symbols on the cake are not a coincidence. This is the Freemason symbol, and the symbol on the bottom, well, we all know what that is. Number 2. Governments are banning conspiracy theories. If you Google conspiracy theories, you will not find any conspiracy theories. The only search results you will get are the definitions, how conspiracy theories are a public health concern, and how they are dangerous for you. Number 2 is not a theory. Number 2 is a fact. Number 3. The Will Smith slap was staged. At the 2022 Oscars, Will Smith walked on stage to slap Chris Rock on the face after a joke he made about Will Smith's wife. However, the slap was perfectly timed during the ongoing conflict in Eastern Europe, and people believe that this was a method to distract Americans from the Ukrainian war. To be precise, the Will Smith case did cover the internet for at least 2 weeks. However, there are many other things that are overflowing the internet as we speak that could also be a cover-up. Personally, I have never seen any content about the war recently. Have you? What is the craziest conspiracy theory that you heard of?
Here comes the truth about the moon landings.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest. It didn't happen. It could have been scary. Certainly.
I really need an explanation real quick. You can never be too careful. Just watch this real quick.
It may be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling.
Now, as we all know, they like to put messages in movies and TV shows. I don't know if y'all seen this, but in the movie Gods of Egypt, it was a scene of space and what Earth looked like from space, and it was flat. Even in Thor, they show Asgard to be a flat plate. Now, it is sad, a lot of people say that we live in a dome. Y'all remember this woman? Look at what she finna say.
And I can't believe we just put the biggest crack in that glass ceiling yet.
Now, we all know the Simpsons be putting in hidden messages and everything. Now, look at this part.
The ball going back, and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself.
Now, some people say Jesus is holding everything together. But in school, do y'all remember when they taught us about gravity? And they had said the earth was round? So I had asked my teacher, if it's round, why don't people fall off the bottom of the earth? And you know how water falls down the stream? Gravity don't stop it, it just goes down. Wouldn't the earth look like this? Cause like, how are you holding all the water in place? It says gravity is most accurately described by the general theory of relativity proposed by Albert Einstein. Again, the Newtonian theory of gravity is based on assumed forces. If gravity is a theory, can Earth really be a globe? Or does it look something like this? I know you're probably like, is the water gonna fall off the edge? Some people say we're surrounded by ice. You know, like in Game of Thrones, even in Teen Titans too.
Butter wall. Butter wall? Seriously? A butter wall? That's what I said, Boo! There's a big old butter wall. It encircles the entire pancake earth.
It just makes me question, that's all I'm saying. Kinda just makes me feel some type of way because they're showing it and everything. Now it is what it is if it's flat or round. But when I heard her talk about it, I was just like, y'all be safe.
So I found these conspiracy theories that are so believable, they actually might be true. Number 1, studies show that cats understand human commands but don't care to follow them. Yeah, I don't like cats. I'm a dog kind of guy. Number 2, it is believed that when you die in a dream, you wake up because your brain doesn't know how to process the idea of what comes after death. Could be. I believe it. Number 3, now this is scary. The reason Disney came out with a movie called Frozen was so that when you Googled Disney Frozen, you would get information about the movie and not the websites talking about Walt Disney's body being frozen. I mean, I did see an article about this that was published in 1995. Not sure if this is true or not, but I do believe it. This is where it gets freaky. Number 4, Mike Tyson's fight, Time Traveler. This fight was in 1995. If you look closely, you can see that that could be a smartphone. In fact, it does look like a smartphone to me. There were no smartphones in 1995. This is how phones used to look like in 1995. They didn't have cameras. They barely had any color. But this thing double flashed. exactly like how an iPhone or an Android would take a picture. I don't know about time travel, but this is very interesting. I'd really like to know what this thing was. What's the creepiest conspiracy theory that you heard of?
Scariest conspiracy theories in the world that will seriously change your life. In this series we'll be going through various conspiracy theories from different tiers. So this right here shows a list of the conspiracy theories in the world. At the top you get the most well-known, not so scary ones, to right at the bottom which will literally change the way you see the world. So if you're easily scared, do not watch this series and just keep on scrolling. But let's kick off part 2. So today we're speaking about the Titanic. Now there's lots of theories about what happened to the Titanic, but this one is huge. So the theory is that the Titanic never hit an iceberg, and that it actually sunk for a completely different reason which you will not believe. So let's go. So we all know the Titanic did sink, because that's a fact. But photos came out from before it sank showing this. Literally a burn area, and that is where the boiler room was. You know, all fires and stuff there, so maybe a fire broke out. Now, this is where it gets even crazier. Several people who were on the Titanic but survived it said this. They were all interviewed on various different grounds, and not one of them mentioned anything about an iceberg. No one said anything about it. However, several people said that there was a fire. A fire broke out in the boiler room before they set sail, and they thought maybe that had something to do with it. But when questioned again about, was there an iceberg? No one said yes. They all said, no, there was no iceberg. So what actually happened? This series is about to get extremely messed up,